Hey Rich, how you doing, man? Thank you for coming in. I feel pretty good about that shoulder impingement and that we're going to be able to knock that out pretty quick. As long as you don't get too aggressive in the gym too soon. These usually can get reversed out pretty good. Just going to be as we meet down in the future, going to be a little bit of a learning curve on kind of what moves are do we take out of the routine, what moves do we add in. But right now, just to isolate that area. Number one, ice. Obviously tender to touch. It's inflamed. I would love you to ice that area once to twice a day. Would be great. I don't think we necessarily bad enough now to call for a bunch of anti-inflammatory pills or taping or creams or any of that. I think just calming it down would be good because it's really only affecting you when you are physical with it. I think you can avoid a lot of that right now. I got 3 main moves that I want you to do on the shoulder pretty routinely. And then we have 2 other moves that are a little more just maybe pre-exercise, post-exercise, warm up, cool down, just to kind of put everything in the right position. But the 3 main moves, my number one for you is going to be the rotation on the knee. That's one where we saw a big deficit between the left arm and the right arm. Right arm did not like this one. It's not that I didn't like it, it wasn't angry, just weak. So again, I like 90 degrees out in front of you. We did about 8 pounds in here. Keep that between like 5 to 10. Don't go too heavy with this one. Really slow on the down, get a little bit of a stretch, and then pull yourself back up. There's a difference on this one between getting a stretch in this position and actively pinching. If you feel like you're pinching, you can kind of turn your chest out a little bit. That makes it a little bit easier. But I like eventually we want to get to a point where you're able to face it forward. It's just a little bit tougher position. If you think about it, this is almost like an upright row position, right? So it can get a little bit hairy. Like I say, bail out with your chest if you need to. This is just about strengthening the back of the cuff. Remember, the name of the game is stretch the front, strengthen the back. So this is about strengthen the back. 1 set to fatigue is all you need. I'm about there. It doesn't take much. 1 set to fatigue. Can be a couple times a day if you want. But really, if you're really hitting that to getting it tired, you shouldn't need too much more than 1 or 2 rounds a day is probably plenty on that. My next one, from a priority standpoint, is going to be the sleeper stretch. Again, that's that sideline stretch. So you are down. You are bear with me here. You are laying on your side, elbows out at 90. You roll onto that side. And then you give it a little bit of pressure. And you know that right arm was significantly tighter than the left. You're gonna feel just a deep stretch in the back of that shoulder. Don't kill it. This is kind of a long hold one. This is a maybe 20 or 30 second long hold. It's not just a 5 seconds and done. And it's definitely not reps. This is a get to an uncomfortable, get to a tight position and just kind of hang out for a little while. If you wanna do 3 rounds of 30 seconds or something similar to that, that's probably a good starting point there. Feel free to flip over and try your other arm and compare, but until they're closer to a matching set, we want to keep this one in the routine. All right. And then the last one that's kind of a high priority for today is going to be the a lighter weight. We were doing about 3 pounds in here. Again, we got to get the pink weights going. I think we might have ended up around 5 pounds. Sorry, 3 to 5 pounds. I'll let you make that call. It's not a front lift, but it's more of that 45-degree angle. Again, take it past 90 degrees. It doesn't need to go all the way sky high, but don't think you just got to end here. Take that a little bit past 90, just easy peasy. Now this one, we did not see as big of a difference between the left and the right. The right one was not too bad. But again, we're working this one because this is the muscle that has that impingement, most likely. This is where you had a little tenderness as well. So we're working it just to work it. We're not trying to necessarily beat it up and build it. So again, 1 set, just kind of general fatigue. If you're just kind of getting to the point where, I got to cheat a little bit on that one, we're done. No hiking, nothing crazy there. Once, again, maybe twice a day is tops, but I'm really even good with once a day on that one. That's a little bit lesser priority than the others. That building that back of the shoulder is where you have more of your deficit. And again, has that been around for 20 years or is that just 6 weeks old? We don't quite know. We'll know with how quickly it catches back up. That's probably our answer on how long it's been weak. So I like those 3 pretty routinely. watch out for pain. I want zero pain on those. I just want it to be challenging. And again, the right arm getting a little bit more work than the left arm's getting in that rotator cuff. Aside from those, two moves that I don't think you can go wrong with are the doorway stretch and the face pulls. So for the doorway, bring you over here, man. You were a big fan of stretching it like a bench press. Again, I don't want that as much. I want your elbows and your hands on the wall. And then instead of going really far forward, think about just going down. That's going to be that stretch that shoulder needs. It's kind of mimicking, like a baseball throw rotation. That's what we're missing right now. The reason you get into that impingement is because you spend so much time kind of forward shouldered, kind of down like this. And then when you lift, bad things happen. It kind of makes that upright row, that chicken wing position. So the more that I can get you rotated back, opens up that shoulder, gives this guy lots of room to work when you're doing heavier lifts out here or shoulder presses and whatnot. And then the last one's going to be the face pulls. Again, do not go heavy with this. This is a warm up, cool down, in between set kind of a move. Very light, very smooth. And then you're just pulling this guy to your face. Again, kind of mimicking like a touchdown is what I want the end of it to look like. If you have trouble with an overhand grip, or I would just go ahead and go right to an underhand grip and do the same thing. You're going to have a lot more freedom of movement, and it's going to address that both those rotator cuffs. Now, this one, if you want to employ this one starting today and going forward, great. Just super light, or probably even better, maybe just a really puny band for now. I don't necessarily want that on the cable machine, but eventually, once the rotation's equal, and once your other lift is equal, then this just becomes a little bit of just kind of an all-around rotator cuff worker. But go light with it now. I can appreciate you wanting to kind of get that ball rolling though. Until we meet again, no dips, no cable crossovers, no dumbbell flies, no upright rows, no even military press. I probably wouldn't do any overhead pressing. At the most, like I say, maybe find a machine that just has pretty strict movement and you kind of just get a little pump there in the middle, but nothing heavy. Keep it light. This shoulders, as you know, man, you're good down here. You can do anything. You can do all the rows and all the chest presses down here. It's when you start to get to 90, you can be feeling great for 8 reps, and that 9th rep, you pinch and gets ticked off. So let's keep that down for a little while. I'm excited. Next time we can get rid of some of the rotator cuff specific work, kind of find you a little bit of a maintenance plan, and I'm hoping by then you're kind of on cruise control. It might not be back to heavy, but at least go in that direction. So keep me posted, let me know how it's going, and excited to meet up again soon. Take care, man, and my best to Emily. Bye.